we all just agree that the post-Christmas spring months are easily the worst time of the year? With all of the big celebrations out of the way, there isn't really that much to look forward to on the horizon, and if you do somehow have something on your schedule, then you almost resent having to leave the house given that it's absolutely freezing out there. But what I find interesting is at this time of the year, film and TV take on a whole new persona in the form of the comfort watch. After all, why deal with the miserable weather outside when you can spend time with your favorite characters in far more tantalizing locations? So that's what I want to talk about today. Films and TV shows that might not make any top 10 lists, but are your absolute go-to picks on a lazy Sunday. But before I get into that, I just want to say thank you for swinging by my channel. If you want to see more videos about storytelling in film, TV, books, and games, then why not hit that subscribe button while you're here. So, comfort watches. Right off the bat, we're not going to be talking about the most obvious ones. I think at this point it's just culturally understood that everyone has rewatched Friends or Gilmore Girls at least about a dozen times. And the same goes for The Office, which, if you didn't know, was actually the most streamed show in 2020. I guess people just really miss the sound of the Office printer. But don't get me wrong, these are still fantastic shows, but I'd rather talk about something that doesn't get discussed that often. In fact, there's one show that anytime I watch it now, I'm immediately transported back to when I was a teenager when it first aired, and that is My Name is Earl. This sitcom about a small-time crook who tries to make amends for all the bad things he's done after discovering karma is genius. Except for a few episodes that do follow a continuing plot line, for the most part, you can just dive in at any episode because you can always expect that it's usually just about Earl crossing something new off of his to-do list. And I just love the fact that it has a pretty good message at the heart of it. As Earl says himself, do good things and good things happen. Do bad things and they'll come back to haunt you. It's such a simple premise, but honestly, it works really well. You can stream it on Disney Plus in the UK, and while I will be forever angry at the fact that the show was unceremoniously cancelled, it still managed to rack up an impressive 96 episode count during its run. So if you haven't seen it, go give it a watch. Now when it comes to films, there is an abundance of great titles I could pick. I'll always sit down for Paddington 2, and if any of the Wallace and Gromit short films come on TV, then I just have to cancel any immediate plans I might have had. But if I could only pick just one, then it would undoubtedly be a film that my wife introduced me to a couple of years ago, and I think that we have watched once a year, every year, ever since, and that is Nora Ephron's You've Got Mail. If people love watching Gilmore Girls because it lets them escape into a small-time American town, then it's hard not to fall in love with You've Got Mail for a slightly similar reason. Even though the film is set in New York, it does an amazing job at making it feel quaint with cozy bookstores and really welcoming cafes and even meticulously designed flats that honestly will have you wondering whether or not you can just call up the set designer and have them design your own flat. And sure, there's a little bit of aspiration at play, but what really sells the whole thing are the performances of Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, two people who have unbelievable chemistry to the point where you honestly forget that you're even watching two actors at play. Of course, it would be daft for me not to mention the previous Nora Ephron and Meg Ryan collaborations that came before this film in the form of Sleepless in Seattle and When Harry Met Sally, both of which You've Got Mail owes a great debt. But on a cold day, it's You've Got Mail that's getting chopped on the telly. So those are my two main comfort watches, but of course I would like to know what it is that you put on when you just want to zone out for a bit. Let me know in the comments, and if this video ends up being well received, then I might do a similar one for video games and books. But either way, thank you for watching.